All right. That's the faculty choir, Harmony A, everybody. Thank you for coming and singing today and being part of Scrooge Chapel. Welcome. We're going to get right into it, but before we start, I just want to say two things. One is that the Scrooge Chapel is a great tradition here at Episcopal Academy, and it would not be possible to sustain it year after year without the dedication of the faculty, staff, and administrators that this is a busy time of year for all of us, and they take time out of their busy schedule and they volunteer and they step out of in some cases step out of their comfort zone to be to be a part of this. So I might have to replace the batteries on this thing. Is it out of range? Step back. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to the faculty and staff and administrators that are involved in Scrooge Chapel this year and every year. The last thing I want to say, I'm going to take a page out of Mr. Irwin's book, because I was in the chapel for the the vocal concert that they did a couple weeks ago, and it was, if you weren't at the concert, it was beautiful. And one of the things that Mr. Irwin did is he asked for the last number for everyone in the chapel to really sing out, because he wanted to know, and he wanted you to know, what it sounded like with everyone singing, what the chapel can sound like with everyone singing. Now we have the middle school in here, we got the upper school in here, so we're going to sing a rousing chorus of Joy to the World at the end of Scrooge Chapel, and I want you to just sing it out today. That is my Christmas wish. That is my one Christmas wish. If you feel joy because it's the holiday season, if you feel joy because you're part of a great community, if you feel joy because it's almost the end of the week, express it in that Joy to the World song at the end. Okay? Thank you, and enjoy Scrooge Chapel.
Scrooge. But he was a tight-fisted hand at a grindstone. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out a generous fire, secret, self-contained, and solitary as an oyster.
Yo, Mr. Scrooge, what about a donation? It's for the children.
Humbug! Get away, I tell you! Are there no persons? Are there no workhouses?
Many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. I want none of your singing here. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Humbug!
It was Christmas indeed, and the streets were filled with jovial music and humble, gleeful folks with a spring in their steps, eager in the hopeful promise of the day, on their way to church and chapel, being beckoned by the torches and the steeples, flocking through the streets in their best clothes and with their happiest faces. It was cold, bleak, biting weather, but the air seemed warm with the generous spirit of the season. But external heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. He carried his low temperature always about with him, especially in his counting house, which he kept iced, even on the coldest day. And he wouldn't thaw at 1 degree, not even on Christmas Eve. Old Scrooge sat busy at his desk working over his ledger, noting with silent glee that it had been a good year and that he was a much richer man. His clerk was warming his hands over a candle when the door opened with a clatter.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you. Merry Christmas? And what reason do you have to be merry? And what kind of nose you're poor enough? And what reason do you have to be so grumpy? You're rich enough. This is a place of business. I'll ask you to leave us alone. Oh, come on now, Uncle. Don't be such a grump. What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas? Humbug! What's Christmas time but a time for paying bills without any money? A time for finding yourself a year older, but not an hour richer? If I had my way, every fool who goes about with a Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Now get out! Uncle, that means if you would only keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine. That's it. You don't keep it at all. I came to ask you if you join us for Christmas dinner tomorrow. Thank you, nephew. I was starved first. I'm sorry to hear that, Uncle. I came here purely out of the Christmas spirit. And when you go, will you please take it with you? Good evening, nephew. Merry Christmas. Uncle! What is it, Cratchit? You want all day tomorrow, I suppose? Well, it's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I would adopt you and had a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used. Yet you do not think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work. But it's only once a year. A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have it. Close the windows and lock up after me. And be here all the earlier the next morning. Yes, Mr. Scrooge. Yes, yes, yes. And Mr. Scrooge.
Scrooge exited with a growl and started home. As usual, he felt no twinge of conscience nor any pang of remorse on that fateful Christmas Eve. But as he approached his dark chambers, they seemed darker than ever before. He started in fear as he crossed the threshold of his gloomy chambers. He felt as if something was waiting for him there. Scrooge slowly mounted the stairs and stood in the blackness, suddenly shaken by a chill, as though an icy hand had clasped its fingers around his heart. Once in his room, he locked the heavy door behind him and quickly made for his bed. Then, in the flickering light of his solitary candle, he saw it. It stood in the shadow, shining in a ghostly gleam, its dead eyes staring at his dead face.
Jacob Marley. Jacob Marley? But you're dead! Why have you come here? To inquire into every creature, the spirit within them walk abroad among their fellow beings. If that spirit goes no forth not in life, is condemned to do so after death. No! No, sir! Spirit wanders to and fro to witness happiness that it might have shared, but cannot share. I wear the chains I forged in life. Of my own free will I wore them. I made them link by link, meter by meter. Is this pattern strange to you? Money boxes, purses, padlocks, keys, infinity stones, units, and heavy purses wrought in Asgardian steel. Oh, Ebenezer, you know this pattern well. You were always a good man of business, Jacob. Business. All the peoples of the universe were my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence were my business. I turned my back to them and sought pride and fame, as if I could click my fingers and destroy half the people of London. And they would be grateful because I decreased the surplus population. I suffered for that. No! Speak comfort to me, Jacob. Hear me. My time zone was gone. As I have suffered, so shall you, for you are a mean one, Ebenezer Scrooge. Dread, remembrance, destiny comes all safe, and now is here, for your heart is shriveled, like Stark was before he became an avenger. But while that Stark, while that heart, deep within you, there's one hope, one chance, escaping my fate. What hope is this you speak of? Tell me, Jacob! You will be haunted by a free spirit. What was the first? The dark of the morning. Hot spring one. The second is broken two. The third, bell tolls three. Look to see me no more. But remember what I said. For what I said, just like me, is inevitable. Take heed and remember.
Scrooge went straight back to bed without undressing, and he fell asleep in an instant. He awoke in a tremble as the voice of the steeple clock rang in his ears, the first hour of Christmas Day.
Come with me, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
No, I am St. Nicholas' rural German companion, Belschnickel.
What? Having an authentic Pennsylvania Dutch farm, fine wine, and Hassenpfeffer.
What's wrong with Hassenpfeffer?
It's
Rise and walk with Belschnickel.
nope.
What? Who am I? Long past? Jim is my enemy. But it turns out that Jim is also his own worst enemy. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So Jim is actually my friend. But this isn't about Jim, this is about Scrooge.
Who and what are you people?
I am the ghost of Christmas future.
Past.
The future one is way cooler.
Past.
Long past?
Nope. You're past.
Well, why have you come? What brings you here?
Your welfare and reclamation. Rise and walk with me.
What? Where?
Through your window, out into the night, out on the wings of the wind. Come, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Wait! What place is this? Where are we?
Look below and tell me what you see.
I see a stool, a cold and drafty hall. I see a long, bare, melancholy room in which a boy sits reading by a feeble fire. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, for they have all gone home for Christmas. He wants to cry, but doesn't dare. Now he lifts his head. I see his face.
Question! What's the solitary boy's name?
His name is Ebenezer Scrooge.
Correct. Here now is the shadow of another Christmas. The boy is now a man. The innocence of childhood no longer on his face. He is again alone. Another idol has replaced the woman he once loved. You were once poor and content to be so, Ebenezer, but you have come to fear the world. Your master, passion, wealth has engrossed you. You've chosen greed and avarice over love.
Show me no more! Leave me! Haunt me no longer!
Use that surge of fear and adrenaline to sharpen your decision-making, Scrooge.
Okay, calm down, Belschnickel.
People pulled out the hour two in the closing air.
I make my holiday entrances the way I make my delicious fried chicken. That's right, the hard way.
Before Scrooge stood a second spirit, clear-eyed and smiling, with a beard as white as a delicious side of buttery mashed potatoes. Scrooge stared at the ghost, more in hunger than in fear.
I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Come on, son, walk with the colonel.
Have brought me no joy.
Come on, man, I'll show you the Christmas of today.
Very well, Spirit.
There lies the whole world beneath you, Ebenezer Scrooge. Tell me what you see.
I see the brightness of a million fires burning on a million hearts. I see families joined together.
In celebration, enjoying a delicious $20 family fill-up. It's a feast of a meal hand-prepared each and every day at all participating KFC restaurants.
I see children with bright new toys.
Laughing as they devour their KFC $5 fill-ups made with one piece of real Kentucky Fried Chicken, not like those nuggets that come in funny shapes.
And invalids sick in their beds.
But getting healthier with one of our signature pot pies and a side of our scrumptious coleslaw, which are 2 for 1 till Christmas.
And poor folks struggling to feed their families.
And even they're happy on this day because I've given them all a coupon for a free 12-piece bucket, complete with mashed potatoes and gravy, fluffy biscuits, and a side of hickory smoked baked beans.
Yes, they appear so.
All this is in the spirit of Christmas.
Yes.
Now, come with me now. There's a miserable room in a miserable house where lives a man you know well, your clerk.
Bob Cratchit. But the others, I know them not.
Bob Cratchit has a wife and children. All these mouths are fed and bodies closed on the 15 shillings you so kindly give him every week.
A wife and children? I never knew that.
You might have known, you never asked.
I smelled it, Mother. I could smell it from the outside. It smelled like an Interact championship.
The youngest child. He has a crutch. He is crippled.
The crutch is for his body. His spirit stands alone. It's like he got beat up in the 4th quarter, like Marcus McDaniel.
And was he a good boy at church?
As good as gold, right, Tiny Tim?
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice to be in church today, Mother. I wanted everyone to see me
Why is that, Tiny Tim?
because I'm crippled, and if people see a crippled boy on Christmas Day, surely they remember that this is God's day, and it is He that makes the crippled walk and the blind to see. And one day, He'll make me walk, and I'll throw away my crutch, and I'll never use it again. Will I, Father?
Never. Why, you're growing stronger every day.
A poor feast of goose no larger than your hands, but the Cratchits are not hard to please.
There was never such a goose. Why, I don't believe there's ever been a goose better cooked than this one. Such tenderness, such flavor.
And the stuffing.
It's finger-licking good!
And now, a toast. A Merry Christmas to all bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
When the feast is over, the Cratchits will gather around a small fire and sing before Tiny Tim must go off to bed.
Tiny Tim, he is so pale, so thin. Tell me, will he live? Will Tiny Tim live?
I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner and a crutch without an owner. If these shadows remain unaltered, the child will die.
No, say he will be spared.
Why? If he be like to die, then he had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Stop! Don't go! Show me some others in this world that are poor and in want.
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
The spirit had gone, and Scrooge was alone in the wind-swept street, his shoulders bowed with shame. Far off, he heard the clock strike 3.
She is the history of fashion.
Like no other designer.
She's a legend.
Modern.
Graphic.
Empowering. Meticulous. She's a visionary.
I'm talking about
Edna Mode. And looking up, he beheld the third of the spirits.
Who are you? What do you want?
Darling, I am the ghost of Christmas, yet to come. I will show you shadows of things that not yet have happened. Because I never look back, darling. It distracts from the now. I focus only on what will happen in the time before us. My God, you've gotten fat.
Those are the future. I fear you more than any specter I have seen.
Fear me? Look at this hobo suit, darling. You can't be seen in this. I won't allow it. Nutcapes. Nutcapes. Look here. Do you know this street, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I do. My business is on this street.
Do you know these people?
I know them well. They're my friends.
Listen to them, darling.
Well, I hear old Scrooge got what was coming to him last night.
So I hear. When did he die?
Last night. I thought he would never die.
What did he die of?
Wait, where do you think he put his money?
I didn't give it away, that's for sure.
He probably wanted to be buried with it.
Did you hear, Ebenezer Scrooge? Come, come. Edna Mode. And guest.
Where do you take me now? What? Why, that's Bob Cratchit kneeling there. But why?
Death has visited his humble house, Ebenezer Scrooge. Luck favors the prepared. Obviously, they were not.
But the grave. Such a small grave. Did Tiny Tim die?
Hear a father crying for his son.
But...
Shh, shh. Your words are useless. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Too much, darling.
I wish you could see this place, Tiny Tim. I bought your football. Can you see it? Can you see it? Oh, you'll like this, Miss Tiny Tim. There's grass, such as you've never seen before, and birds and flowers. You're going to like it, little Tiny Tim. And there won't be any more pain, and there won't be any more of that crutch of yours. You can throw it away at long last. And you won't be alone, because I'll come every Sunday. And when I walk home, I'll feel you on my shoulder. The way we used to walk. Hear your laugh. I think to myself, he's here. Just as he always was.
Tiny Tim, born 1838, departed this life only age 7.
Must this be? Must the father cry his heart out on the gravestone of his child? Tell me, this must not be. What must I do?
What are you talking about? You are Ebenezer Scrooge. My God! Pull yourself together. What will you do? Is this a question?
I will save him! I will save him! Let me have one more chance, Spirit. I promise I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The Spirit of God shall thrive within me. I swear! Only tell me that I may sponge away the writing on that gravestone. Tell me, Spirit!
Go! Confront the problem! Fight! Win! And call me when you get back, darling. I enjoy your visits.
Immediately, Scrooge was back in his room. The sun was streaming through the window. He had a sudden fear that Christmas had passed. He leapt from his bed, rushed to the window, and threw it open. And a very Merry Christmas it was. Scrooge accepted his nephew Fred's invitation to Christmas dinner. And on the way, he was fortunate enough to have met the people who had asked him for a contribution the night before. Oh, were they surprised at the old man's incredible generosity. Scrooge was better than his word. He raised Bob Cratchit's salary to such a figure that the clerk nearly fainted in surprise. And I might tell you that Tiny Tim did not die. He is well and growing stronger day by day. Scrooge keeps Christmas in his heart now, for he knows that there is no greater gift than the love of fellow man. For in that love is love of God. May we keep Christmas always. May its fire burn forever in our hearts. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.
God
bless us, everyone.
Now that our chapel service is over, let our service to one another begin.